51,145 drinking water systems. Consumers should have peace of mind that the water assets, the water grid is protected, both physically and from a cyber perspective.
In recent years, there's been a growing understanding that natural resources and conflicts over access to energy or access to water resources can increasingly be a threat to our national security.
Welcome to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, but also home to one of the oldest water systems in our country. Right over here, this is the Delaware River, one of two rivers used by multiple water companies and the city to supply the city with drinkable water. Now, across the country, there is an issue of national security when it comes to our water, and at the heart of it is an organization right here in Philadelphia.
Because in the 70s, there was a lot of, chemicals and random stuff that they were just polluting the water with. Nobody really cared back then. So one of the things they did is they introduced things like carp and certain types of clams and mussels. And that's actually what cleans out a lot of the mercury and PCBs.
There are more than 155,000 public water systems in the United States. Over 286 million Americans get their tap water from a community system. 8% of the U.S. community water systems provide water to 82% of the population. And according to the EPA, water distribution systems are increasingly vulnerable to interruption in service from a terrorist attack, industrial accident, or extreme weather event. Which is why there's a push to increase security, whether from outside or inside threats.
Rob Powelson, President and CEO of the National Association of Water Companies.
Something the National Association of Water Companies, based in Philadelphia, are fully behind.
We have a moral responsibility because this is the only public utility service consumers ingest. So if we don't get it right, or we have a threat vector that violates or infiltrates a industrial control system and starts messing with the chemical flows, we could have a national public health scare. And I hate to kind of create that scenario, but that's the reality.
This could have been very dangerous. That is the message from the Pinellas County Sheriff tonight as detectives work to find a hacker who they say tried to remotely poison the drinking water supply in Oldsmar.
That one incident caused several other water companies across the country to revamp their cybersecurity, causing a ripple effect that reached the White House, and it launched a cybersecurity task force for water and waste.
It creates mission failure for the Environmental Protection Agency to be tasked with managing a portfolio of 51,145 systems. The problem in cyber is we're all operating in silos. We need to share best practices. We need to adopt things like cyber mutual assistance. These are the challenges that are on the horizon for the water and wastewater sector in the U.S.
We've talked about cybersecurity, inside and outside threats, and infrastructure problems. But across the country, there are problems like shortages, droughts, and access that can lead to bigger and more detrimental outcomes. And for that, we're going to San Francisco.
It's a beautiful day in the Bay Area.
Here on the west coast of the country, access to clean, drinkable water is something communities are constantly fighting for. It's what some call the water wars. However, all across the globe, there are actual conflicts turned violent.
I'm Peter Glick. I'm the co-founder and president emeritus of the Pacific Institute. I've been working on water and security issues for almost 40 years. There are more than 1,300 examples now in the database of violence associated with water resources.
Peter Glick says it's more important than ever that we handle this national security problem of water access diplomatically.
We'll see impacts on our economy. We'll see decreases in agricultural production and food production. We'll see disputes between cities and farms, which have turned violent in India and Iran, for example.
In the U.S., it's estimated that more than 471,000 households, or 1.1 million individuals, lack a piped water connection. Some of the major topics that come up when it comes to water is the drought and access, which is why I'm going to Stockton, California, to speak to one of the nonprofits who are at the front line of this battle.
Stockton is known for crime. It's known for its Forbes reporting as the most miserable city in America. We have a high tolerance for invisible people suffering here. But we're looking at real social collapse when we weave together these two things, the commodification of housing with ecological contingency.
The San Joaquin River flows through Stockton, and nonprofits like Restore the Delta are trying to make a change by trying to improve quality of water in the river to free up access for the community.
Nobody was paying attention to the harmful algal bloom problem. And because our youth have showed up for over a year and have worked also with the State Water Board on creating a testing program, they have decided that the exporters, managed through the Department of Water Resources and the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, have to start tracking what's happening with harmful algal blooms here and report back to the regulatory agencies.
The water system is a multi-layered national security problem. Water is life, which is why improving the systems and protecting it is what so many Americans have dedicated their lives to. I'm Thomas Hoppo reporting.
The changes at the border some people think will impact national security. Next on The Race.